All right, welcome. Day number 18, basically December 18th. And today I want to talk about content. Basically what I'm doing right now as well, but not just for us individuals, personal brands, but also for brands in general. Content is becoming king. I mean, it's been for a while, it's always been, but right now it's at an all-time high and it will continue to grow. If you search for the word, or actually for the keywords personal brand, you'll see that there's a huge spike recently. And the main reason for that is, to some extent, the fact that there has been so much advertising with meta ads, which made it super easy for anyone to make money, to grow brands, to collect attention. And because of that, there's basically a very low trust in general, right? Like, most of us nowadays are probably skeptical of some things. It depends how, let's say it depends how mature we are, because there are people who fall into crypto scams and other type of scams, let's say, very easily, just because I would say they might be naive, or they maybe just don't have that experience of being scammed, because that's when you actually learn, when you feel that pain within you. But the reason why content like this actually is, I would say, one of the most important types of advertising, basically, because even brands right now, as we know, who really trusts Coca-Cola? It's like they're selling you sugar. I mean, the only reason why you're drinking is because you're doing it with friends and you're feeling good. Like, it's mainly about the feeling that you have with your friends, and not as much about the product or the fact that you care about Coke, or Pepsi. Like, in most cases, you don't give a shit about them, and you'll change the brands if you find something that's, let's say, better, or because this is what's happening right now a lot with many brands. If for example, you are seeing the founder of a brand, of a newer brand, on YouTube, you are probably more likely to buy that product. For example, I just bought this week, and I still have yet to receive it, because it's a busy time. It's near Christmas, basically. But it's a product called Space Goods, and it's a mix. And I'm actually more into protein, whey, and others. Won't name any brands right now, although there's one very popular here in Europe. And that supplement, honestly, like, I know I could live without it, so the main reason why I bought it is just to try it out, and also to see how, let's say, the experience is, because basically, if you buy something, you want to see how they package it, how it's being delivered, and even, let's say, what's the offer, because in some cases you actually receive a bunch of free things. So, for example, in this case, there were a bunch of free things in the offer. So there was the supplement, 2 supplements actually, and there was like a free mug, a free, I can't even remember, something like a mixer, so you can mix your supplement. So a couple of things, right? And the main reason why I bought was not because I've seen the ads, because I've seen the ads actually a lot on my Instagram, but that wasn't the reason, because I knew it wasn't going to really, like, make a huge difference in my life, right? Most likely, because, like, I already have a routine for 10 years now, so it's like it's almost set in stone, and it's well developed, because it took a few other years before to actually develop it. And it's pretty simple. It's protein in the first part of the day, so it's very easy on the digestion. It doesn't really fog you. And then later in the day, meat and veggies. Simple but effective for health and longevity and everything. However, let's come back to content, because I, to some extent, focused on the fact on actually two things. The fact that the guy who has the brand is basically promoting himself or growing his personal brand, but at the same time, he's also indirectly growing the brand. It's actually hard to say which one is gaining more. At the same time, they are both gaining visibility. So I don't think there's even a comparison, because like you can't really put this in numbers, meaning that it's difficult to say who has to win more, the brand that makes millions of dollars, or the person who's able to find new talent, new hires because of the visibility and the personality and everything. So the point is that content helps you in multiple ways. And this is just for, let's say, video content, right? But if we think about ads, right? Because let's think about ads as well. It's not just organic. I was talking about content, but it's not just organic. If, for example, you create an organic post, right? You can actually use that as an ad. If it's like some kind of UGC or even a social media post many times, even though ads are different for sure, like they do have a different structure. And what I want to point out is that even when it comes to content for ads, you do need more and more. Because if we look at the biggest platforms, right, it's Meta and Google. And then you have, let's say, AppLovin nowadays, Pinterest, Snapchat, and TikTok. But all of them are content driven, right? Let's say Google is less. But even there, if you want to create demand, you have to actually create videos for YouTube. And YouTube is not easy to crack, because you actually need good videos, good content. And that's why it's important to have a mix of volume and quality. So basically quantity and quality. Easier to remember like that. And coming back to content, it's definitely not the only thing, right, that you can focus on. It's just like you don't need to speak. Maybe if you're a great programmer, right, you don't need to have amazing communication skills, but you're definitely leaving money opportunities on the table just because you don't know how to speak, right? Because, for example, this is one of the biggest skills, that the most important skills, basically leadership. Being able to get other people to help you, to fund you, and you do that by actually having conviction, by knowing what to say and saying it because you've also done the research, right? It's not just about yapping without actually having anything to back it up, right? For example, that's why I'm making these videos, because at this point, I'm not exactly a beginner when it comes to paid ads. I've done this for a while now, and I've made money in this space, and I'm seeing how the land is shifting, let's say. I mean, just look at what's happening right now. One of the most popular, let's say, I don't know if I should even call him a guru or something like that, but he's big enough at this point, Iman Gadzhi, that he is able to almost sell anything. And the next thing, which is coming up in January, the next thing that he might be selling, I'm not sure what the offer will be at the end of the series that he's planning, but it's clear that the focus of that series will be personal brand, because this is what everyone more or less is doing, right? Like, if you look at anything, at almost, any kind of deals, even real estate, right? Like, if people know you from TikTok, from other platforms, from YouTube, they will trust you more and they will make that deal with you, right? So we're seeing this shift in terms of content, right? I mean, it's a new generation as well. Like, I'm 41, I'm let's say a zillennial, and as you can see, like I don't have any problem creating content, you know, like for example, my aunt, which is 50 plus, right? She wouldn't make content. So it's clear that because it was another generation, right? Other mindsets back then. It also depends on the country that you're in, right? So there are levels to this. For example, like I wasn't born in the best place in the world, right? But I wasn't born in the worst either. Europe, East Europe, the fact that, let's say, I'm white, but yeah, I mean, some things, let's say, are a positive, but then it's like, yeah, what others, like not the best looking, not genetically gifted, you know, so there are always drawbacks. But that's the thing with content. It doesn't really matter how you look as much, meaning that for business, like if you're good enough, you will get to the top no matter how you look. Like it is more so about what you say, how you say it, and even when it comes to ads, right? Coming back to that, that's why you actually need more testing, because you need to find out what works. Is it, what kind of person is it? What kind of angle is it? Is it the fact that someone can be more relaxed after trying your product? Is it that they sleep better? Is it that the thing that they get tastes good? Is it the fact that it gives them more confidence? So there are so many things, right, that you can touch on. And overall, I would say that's it for now. Like, content is king and will be king. I should have like a crown here just to show that it's a king. But yeah, we need to actually do it, not just speak about it. So if you want to do it, you can do it. If not, just follow me, and see you tomorrow.